Welcome to the Deep Dive. We unpack insights from, well, fascinating sources, really aiming to make them relevant for you, our listener. Today, we're embarking on quite an extraordinary journey into the life of A.P.J. Abdul Kalam. He wasn't just a president, though, a very beloved one. He was also a scientist, a teacher, a writer, fundamentally a dreamer.
Yeah.
And his path, starting from, really humble beginnings in this small coastal town, it's just remarkable.
It really is. And I think his story resonates so deeply because it's just this perfect example of resilience.
Right.
And that constant pursuit of knowledge and the sheer power of dreams to actually change reality.
Absolutely.
So our mission here really is to pull out those core lessons he lived by, to show how these ideas can help anyone shape an extraordinary life, no matter, where you start from.
Okay, so let's unpack that. His early life. Born October 15th, 1931, Ramaswaram, Tamil Nadu. Came from a family that was, well, facing real financial hardship. I mean, he was selling newspapers as a child just to help the family make ends meet. It's quite a stark beginning for someone who reached such heights.
It really is.
But even then, his dedication to education, it was apparently unwavering. He went on to study physics, then aeronautical engineering, always driven by this powerful belief that education is the key to success.
And that right there, it really highlights this foundational idea, doesn't it? How that early, deep commitment to learning, even with all the adversity, it basically laid the groundwork for everything that came later.
Right.
What set him apart, I think, wasn't just the hard work, though obviously there was that, but this kind of relentless intellectual curiosity. He saw learning as the way out, the way to achieve something bigger.
And from those tough early days, this completely different path started to open up. One that would, well, quite literally launch him into the heart of India's scientific ambitions. He became a top scientist at both ISRO, that's the Indian Space Research Organization, and DRDO, the Defense Research and Development Organization.
See institutions.
Absolutely, and his work was pivotal. He helped build India's very first satellite launch vehicle, the SLV-3. A huge breakthrough, really put India on the map in space.
Yeah, and what's fascinating there is how his science was never just theory in a lab. It always led to these tangible nation-building impacts. If you connect it to the bigger picture, his role in the Pokhran-2 nuclear tests in 1998.
Which earned him the title Missile Man of India.
Exactly. That wasn't just about developing weapons technology. It was about navigating these incredibly complex scientific and geopolitical challenges to really secure India's strategic autonomy, demonstrate self-reliance on the world stage. It was massive.
And that deep commitment to serving the nation, it led him down a path many didn't expect, right?
Right.
From this leading scientist to becoming the 11th president of India in 2002 and his presidency. It was marked by this really unusual level of public adoration for a head of state. What was it about him? That mix of simplicity, honesty, intellectual depth.
Well, I think this raises a really important point about leadership, leadership beyond just politics. He inspired people, generations really, not just through policies, but through who he was, his authentic character, and crucially, his direct engagement.
Yeah, he was known for constantly interacting with students, wasn't he?
All the time, across the country, encouraging them to think big, nurturing that scientific temper, as he called it. You could almost see his scientific problem-solving mindset translating into his presidential style. Accessible communication, focus on development through innovation.
And beyond his public service, he also left this incredible intellectual legacy. His books, Wings of Fire, which is his autobiography, really charting his own journey, Ignited Minds, aimed at empowering young people, and India 2020, his vision for the country's future.
Powerful works.
And he gave us that unforgettable quote, "Dream is not what you see in sleep. Dream is something which does not let you sleep." Powerful stuff.
So true. And his life ended, quite poignantly, on July 27, 2015. He was actually giving a lecture to students at IM Shillong.
Wow, doing what he loved right until the very end.
Exactly. Even in his last moments, he was teaching. It just embodies his lifelong dedication to learning and inspiring others. His story, when you boil it down, it gives us these fundamental lessons, doesn't it? That hard work and knowledge really can lift you from anywhere.
Yeah.
That learning truly never stops. It's a lifelong journey. And that our dreams, our aspirations, they hold immense power.
What an incredible life. Just think about that arc. From a kid selling newspapers to the missile man shaping India's strategic future, and then this incredibly beloved president. A real testament, I think, to what one person can achieve with just unwavering dedication and a powerful vision.
Absolutely. So for you listening, here's maybe a thought to take away from Kalam's life.
Yeah.
What is that dream that does not let you sleep? And how can that idea of continuous learning, that commitment he showed, empower you to chase it, no matter your starting point, no matter what limitations you might perceive?